I've just gotten my hands on the Android flagship, the Odin 3 with the Snapdragon 8 Gen Ultimate. It arrives in a slide-out gift box, and upon opening it, you see the device itself. I chose my favorite translucent variant. Compared to the black, white, retro grey and blue translucent versions, this color is undeniably the best choice. It features a classic horizontal layout, with a rounded body weighing 390 grams. For a handheld with an 8000 mAh battery, the weight is well managed. The top is a single glass panel, enhancing its modern look. The 6-inch. The screen's ultra-narrow bezels provide an excellent screen-to-body ratio. Its back features extensive ventilation and 2 customizable rear buttons. These back buttons are a significant upgrade, offering precise micro-switch triggers with ideal force, feeling crisper than Uncle Tail's model. The shoulder buttons have a large textured anti-slip contact area, and the linear triggers boast substantial travel. The grip's comfortable curve is comfortable. The buttons are excellent. The shoulder buttons, regardless of how you grip the device, provide consistent tactile feedback whether you press the ends, middle, or top. The upgraded Hall effect joystick is a significant improvement over its predecessor. While it sacrifices some height and aesthetics, its range of motion and precision now rival or even exceed those of full-size controller joysticks. This makes it is currently the premier joystick among Android handhelds. Regarding the D-pad, unlike old Joe's conductive rubber buttons, this device employs a silicone microswitch design. This ensures swift and silent activation with minimal force, offering rapid rebound and superior tactile feedback. During gameplay, quick dashes and combo executions are remarkably fluid, easily earning it an excellent 8.5 out of 10. The ABXY. The ABXY buttons are quite common, simple conductive rubber buttons, and the overall design feels somewhat soft. If only they offered the consistent tactile feedback of the directional pad, it would be flawless. Now that we've covered the look and feel, let's talk about the screen, a point of great interest. This is a 6-inch 120Hz 1080p OLED display. Key areas to focus on are its visual performance and screen flicker. Firstly, observe my OLED phone. At 40% brightness, visible flicker lines are already apparent when filmed. The flicker frequency will vary with different brightness levels. Now let's examine the Odin 3 screen. At 40% brightness, its performance is commendable. Below 30%, it essentially matches the 40% level of my phone. For an OLED screen, its performance is quite good. Of course, I suggest using any screen in low light environments, and for normal lighting, setting the brightness above 30% is recommended. Now let's observe the OLED's display. For those familiar with OLED phone screens, these colors will seem quite customary. It features high contrast, a generally vibrant aesthetic, and a subtly reddish tint. A slight color adjustment in the settings will enhance the viewing experience. In summary, it's definitely beautiful. The Type-C port supports single cable display output, and it lets you choose from various resolutions and refresh rates. There are options for 1K, 2K, 4K, and different Hertz settings. You can also choose whether to turn off the screen in the settings. The attention to detail is great. One thing to note is that single cable output is picky about cables. My old 20 Gbps cable didn't work. I also had to upgrade to a 40 gigabits per second version. Now, within the very same game, just take a look at the portable screen on the left. Can you see how the IPS displays visual quality clearly falls short compared to that of the OLED? When faced with the choice between protecting your eyes and indulging in superior visual enjoyment, which option would you personally favor? After its AV performance, let's look at the main specs. It's equipped with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, clocked at 4.3 GHz. With the system's highest performance mode enabled and a high-speed fan, testing shows it can maintain stable performance. As the most powerful Android handheld right now, this Snapdragon 8 Gen Ultimate's AnTuTu score is basically double that of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which was in the last gen Odin 2. For the handhelds we reviewed previously, the 8 Gen 3 version shows a 25% performance improvement. When it comes to native Android mobile games, it already matches the performance of the 2 other handhelds in standard mode, all while consuming less power. It doesn't even need its full strength to comfortably dominate all current Android mobile games. With such high performance, it'd be a genuine waste not to try some PC emulators. I've tested several. For instance, Elden Ring, The Witcher 3, and Red Dead Redemption 2 all launch perfectly. Cyberpunk 2077 runs fine too, with frame rates consistently above 30, even with imperfect drivers. Rumors suggest Turnip drivers will soon support the Snapdragon 8 Gen Ultimate, improving compatibility and refinement. Once official open source drivers are released, its playability for the next 2 years will surely surpass the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. For The Legend of Zhao Yun, a game I play often, it currently runs at a stable 30 FPS, hitting 40 to 50 FPS in some smaller scenes. Locking it at 30 FPS makes for a pretty comfortable experience. In a year or two, it should reach the ideal state, which I estimate is being able to play all AAA titles smoothly, basically replacing an entry-level Windows handheld. If you're still not content with PC emulation, you can also try streaming from your high-end PC At 1080p and 60 frames per second, decoding surprisingly reaches under 1 millisecond, typically fluctuating between 0.5 and 0.7 milliseconds. Decoding under 1 millisecond should be incredibly appealing to handheld streaming players. And then there's the Switch emulator. Since official drivers are not yet, currently its compatibility, performance, and power efficiency don't quite match the 8 Gen 3. What you are seeing now is Hyrule Warriors. In docked mode at 1080p, it maintains a stable 60 FPS. The display quality and overall fluidity exceed that of the original Switch. However, for games that simply won't run or exhibit texture errors, we must await emulator updates or official driver releases. In this video, I basically tested the main features of this high-end Android device. I'll do a more detailed test of the PS3 emulator later. Since the PS3 emulator is still immature and requires a lot of work, I'll save it for the next video. If you're interested, feel free to save it for later. In summary, for $2,000 to $3,000, you get a top-tier Android device, the latest iteration of the Odin, and its overall performance is excellent. The build quality is solid, the aesthetics have improved, and the taller joysticks enhance the feel at the cost of looks. At 390 grams, with its superior joysticks and buttons, it's arguably the best feeling Android handheld right now. It uses an OLED screen with excellent display quality, and as for eye comfort, you don't need to worry too much in good lighting. The Snapdragon 8 Gen Ultimate's performance is the most exciting part of this device. Its relative overkill performance makes future tinkering possibilities even more interesting. Finally, two small suggestions. Because the panel has a nice floating edge design, the official tempered glass screen protector has zero adhesion, leaving white edges everywhere. The screen protector needs a redesign. Second, the tall joysticks are indeed quite prominent. A detachable joystick cap design, paired with a shorter joystick option, will better suit some users. It also remedies the problem of the high right stick impacting the right buttons. View of the ultimate Android handheld. If you found it helpful, please like and share. Thanks for watching.